Welcome to the Rich People Club. Today, we're going to reveal 12 psychological mind traps that are holding you back from the success, wealth, and freedom you've been chasing. These traps are sneaky. They trick you into making bad decisions, wasting time, and missing out on the opportunities that could make you rich. And the worst part? You probably don't even realize you're falling into them. Think about it. How many times have you regretted a financial decision or felt stuck in the same place no matter how hard you worked? That's not just bad luck. These mind traps are designed to keep you exactly where you are. But if you understand them, you can break free and start making decisions that lead to real success and luxury. Let's get started. Mind Trap 1. Reciprocity. Reciprocity is a powerful force in human interaction, one that often works without us even realizing. When someone gives you something, there's a natural instinct to want to give something back. Imagine walking through a store and getting a free sample. Suddenly, you feel a bit more compelled to buy from that store, don't you? This subtle nudge plays a huge role in how businesses operate and even in how we build relationships. To break free from this trap, it's essential to recognize when you're acting out of obligation rather than genuine desire. Let's say you're negotiating a deal and the other side throws in some extras to sweeten it. Instead of feeling like you owe them, step back and ask yourself if it's what you really want or if you're being influenced. When wealth and success are your goals, it's vital to ensure your decisions are driven by logic, not just by feeling obliged. In personal relationships, reciprocity can create a delicate balance. You may feel compelled to do favors for friends or family after they've helped you, even when it's not the best move for your growth or financial success. A millionaire mindset means knowing when to give and when to hold firm. Being mindful of this will help you manage your resources, whether time or money, with more clarity. What's key here is maintaining control over your actions. Think about what truly benefits you in the long run. By doing so, you're setting yourself up for a life of luxury and power without letting subtle social pressures dictate your path. Speaking of subtle influences, there's another force that can shape your perception in unexpected ways. Mind Trap 2. Halo Effect. The halo effect can blindside you without even knowing it. It happens when your impression of someone in one area affects your perception of them in others. For instance, you might think someone is trustworthy simply because they dress well or carry themselves confidently. But in the pursuit of wealth and success, you can't afford to let superficial factors cloud your judgment. The most powerful individuals see beyond appearances and focus on substance. In business, the halo effect is especially dangerous. Imagine investing in a company because the CEO seems charismatic without digging into their track record. This could lead to poor decisions that cost you both money and opportunity. The key here is to judge every situation and person based on actual results, not just the impression they leave. In personal relationships, the halo effect might lead you to overestimate someone's abilities. Maybe a friend who seems successful in one area starts offering you advice in another, even though they lack expertise. To become a millionaire, you need to surround yourself with people who bring real value, not just those who seem impressive on the surface. By sharpening your judgment and looking deeper, you unlock more potential for growth. The next step to mastering your path to riches involves understanding why some success stories seem too good to be true. Often, there's much more beneath the surface than meets the eye. Mind Trap 3. Survivorship Bias. Survivorship bias makes it easy to fall into the trap of thinking that success comes easily because you only see the winners. We often hear stories about entrepreneurs who made it big, but rarely do we hear about the countless others who failed along the way. This skewed perspective can create unrealistic expectations about wealth and luxury, making success seem more accessible than it actually is. Take the stock market, for example. You might hear about the handful of people who made millions off a particular investment, but what you don't hear are the hundreds who lost money trying the same thing. To avoid this trap, always dig deeper into the data and look at both sides of the equation. Success and failure. That's how true millionaires make informed decisions. Survivorship bias can also mislead you in personal development. You may follow advice from successful individuals without considering their unique circumstances. Their path might not work for you, and it's important to adapt strategies that fit your own goals. Wealth and power come from being pragmatic, not just imitating others blindly. By recognizing both the successes and failures that shape the world of business, you'll develop a clearer vision of what it takes to truly become rich. If you're enjoying these insights so far, don't forget to subscribe to the Rich People Club for more content like this. Now, let's talk about how effort can sometimes cloud your judgment. Mind Trap 4: IKEA Effect. The IKEA effect is when you place a higher value on things simply because you put effort into them. Just like assembling furniture from IKEA, you start to feel proud of your creation, even if it's not perfect. This same mindset can spill over into your business or investments, leading you to overvalue projects just because you've spent time on them. Imagine spending months developing a product or business idea. Even if it's not performing well, you might hesitate to let it go because of the time and effort invested. The danger here is holding on to something just because it's yours, rather than evaluating it objectively. True wealth builders know when to walk away from a bad deal, regardless of how much they've invested. The key is to seek external feedback. Ask trusted mentors or experts to evaluate your work. This helps you see beyond your personal attachment and make decisions based on the true value of your efforts. This habit separates the millionaires from the rest. The ability to cut losses and move on quickly. Next, we'll uncover how first impressions can skew your decisions, often leading to poor financial outcomes. Mind Trap 5: Anchoring Effect. The anchoring effect is when your initial exposure to a number or piece of information influences all future decisions. For example, if you're told a house costs $500,000, every price you see after that will be compared to that number, whether it's relevant or not. This mental shortcut can cloud your financial judgment, especially when negotiating deals or making big investments. In the world of wealth and success, anchoring can cause you to miss opportunities. You might pass up a lucrative investment because your first impression of the price is too high, even though it's a great long-term deal. Millionaires train themselves to evaluate opportunities based on facts and potential, not on initial numbers thrown at them. To avoid falling into this trap, always view offers independently. When considering a business deal, investment, or luxury purchase, ask yourself if the value stands on its own merit, not just in comparison to something else you've seen. This level of financial discipline is what makes some people truly rich. Mastering the anchoring effect is a crucial skill for anyone aiming for success. But as we move forward, remember that letting others influence your choices can also be a dangerous trap, especially when the crowd seems to dictate your path. Mind Trap 6: Bandwagon Effect. The bandwagon effect occurs when people start doing something simply because others are doing it. In the world of success and riches, this can be dangerous. Just because everyone is talking about a hot stock or a trending business idea doesn't mean it's right for you. Jumping on the bandwagon without fully understanding the risks can lead to costly mistakes. A classic example is the cryptocurrency craze. Many rushed in because they saw others making fast money, only to lose big when the market crashed. To avoid this, you need to think independently. Wealthy individuals assess opportunities based on their own research, not because it's popular at the moment. You can still ride trends, but make sure you're in control of your decisions, not just following the herd. When building wealth, the crowd often leads you toward mediocrity. The most powerful, successful individuals blaze their own trail. If everyone is doing it, it might be time to pause and evaluate whether it's truly in line with your goals. And while trends may tempt you to act quickly, the next mind trap will show you why careful planning is essential. Mind Trap 7: Planning Fallacy. The planning fallacy is when you underestimate how long it will take to complete tasks. This happens in personal projects, business, and even when aiming for luxury and financial success. For example, you might think starting a business or reaching millionaire status will take a year when, in reality, it could take several years of hard work. One way to overcome this is to always add a buffer to your plans. If you think something will take 6 months, plan for 9. This way, you avoid frustration and disappointment, allowing you to make steady progress toward your goals. The wealthy are masters of patience, understanding that big rewards take time and careful execution. It's also helpful to break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps. Want to achieve financial freedom? Start with saving, then investing in stocks, and finally expanding to real estate or other ventures. Each step builds upon the last, avoiding the stress of unrealistic timelines. Being realistic about how long success takes helps you avoid burnout. And while planning is crucial, sometimes knowing when to walk away is just as important. Up next, we'll tackle the mindset trap that makes it hard to move on from failed projects or investments. Mind Trap 8. Sunk Cost Fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is when you continue investing time, money, or effort into something simply because you've already invested so much. You might think, I can't quit now, I've come this far. But this mindset can lead to poor financial decisions, keeping you trapped in unprofitable ventures. Let's say you've invested heavily in a business that isn't growing. Instead of cutting your losses, you keep pouring more money into it, hoping things will turn around. The rich and powerful know when to cut their losses and move on. They base decisions on potential future returns, not past investments. To avoid this trap, always evaluate opportunities based on where they will take you, not where you've been. Whether it's business, investments, or personal goals, the path to success involves making bold choices, even if that means walking away. Next, we'll tackle the urge to bury your head in the sand when things get tough. Mind Trap 9. Ostrich Effect. The ostrich effect is when you avoid facing uncomfortable realities, much like an ostrich sticking its head in the sand. This can happen with money, business, or even personal relationships. You might avoid checking your bank account balance because you don't want to see how much you've spent, or ignore business setbacks hoping they'll fix themselves. But wealth and success come from confronting these issues head-on. Successful people regularly review their finances, even when it's uncomfortable, because they know it's the only way to stay on top. If you ignore the warning signs, you risk letting small problems turn into major setbacks. One way to counter this is to set regular check-ins with yourself. Whether it's reviewing your spending habits or assessing your business progress, staying informed is key. In the end, avoiding these issues only delays your path to luxury and financial freedom. Let's now move to how comparisons can shape your decisions in subtle ways. Mind Trap 10. Contrast Effect. The contrast effect occurs when your judgment is influenced by recent comparisons. For example, a real estate agent might show you a rundown house first, making the next one seem luxurious in comparison. This mental trick can lead you to make decisions that don't align with your actual goals, especially when it comes to money and success. When building wealth, it's important to recognize when you're being swayed by comparisons. Maybe you're considering an investment that looks good only because the alternatives are worse. The rich and powerful know how to evaluate each opportunity on its own merits, avoiding this subtle influence. To overcome this, train yourself to think independently. Don't let recent experiences or emotions guide your financial choices. This will help you build true wealth, rather than being distracted by temporary illusions. Now, let's dive into the challenge of indecision and how it holds you back from real progress. Mind Trap 11. Inability to close doors. The inability to close doors refers to the difficulty in making decisions due to fear of missing out. You might have multiple business ideas or investment opportunities and struggle to commit to just one. The problem is, trying to pursue everything at once often leads to mediocre results. Successful people understand the power of focus. If you're constantly juggling several projects, none of them will get the attention they need to thrive. To build true wealth, you have to learn how to close some doors and focus your energy on what matters most. A good strategy is to pick one business or investment to go all in on. By committing fully, you give yourself a better chance to succeed. Remember, luxury and millionaire status are achieved by those who learn to prioritize and master one thing before moving to the next. Now, let's address one of the most persistent traps we face: our tendency to dwell on the negative. Mind Trap 12. Negativity Bias. Negativity bias is the tendency to focus more on negative experiences than positive ones. For instance, you could have 100 compliments about your business, but it's the one negative comment that sticks with you. This can be a huge roadblock on your journey to success, as it clouds your judgment and steals your focus. If you let negativity dominate your thoughts, it can drain the energy you need to create wealth and success. To overcome negativity bias, you need to make a conscious effort to shift your perspective. Start by keeping a gratitude journal or focusing on your wins, no matter how small. The most successful people maintain a positive outlook, knowing that every setback is just a stepping stone to greater achievements. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but rather focusing on what you've achieved and how you can move forward. It's also crucial to surround yourself with positive influences. The people around you, your mentors, and even the media you consume can either feed your negativity or help you rise above it. Be intentional about cutting out negativity from your environment. This practice will keep your mind sharp and your vision focused on long-term success and luxury. Wealth and luxury come to those who master their mindset. By focusing on the positive and not letting minor setbacks derail you, you stay on course toward your goals. And speaking of staying on course, the next step in your journey involves applying these mindset shifts to real-world scenarios where every decision counts. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Rich People Club and hit that notification bell to stay ahead with insights that could change your life. Now that you've uncovered these 12 psychological mind traps, the next step is putting this knowledge into action. Remember, understanding these traps is just the beginning. Escaping them is where the real transformation happens. If you're serious about building wealth and living a life of luxury, start making smarter decisions today. What's your biggest takeaway from this video? Have you spotted a trap you've been falling into? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. The road to success starts with awareness. Don't let these traps keep holding you back.